Alright, so we're back on the Honda here. Basically where we left off. I didn't do anything to this since the last video. But I did end up just, instead of hammering on the flywheel and everything, I just ended up buying it's a harmonic balancer puller. Yeah, steering wheel puller, whatever. So it's just a puller with some bolts and all the holes line up. So just gonna use this and see what happens. This kit was like 20 bucks on Amazon, so even if I only use it for this one time, it's only 20 bucks spent on this and just used for other things. So I thought might as well just buy it. Also got a OEM timing belt, so see if we can get that installed. And I doubt I'll get it running in this part, but we'll just see how it goes. So get you set up here and get started pulling this flywheel. All right, so get this thing here, and it's just you're using basically the triangle, you know, to fit up on here. And it looks like it lines up, and comes with 4 different sets of bolts to thread into things, and you know, like the actual thread thing that threads into the puller to push on the crank. There's little silver ones. These ones don't seem to have the right thread pattern to thread in. The silver or the gold ones seem to go in fine, so this is what we're gonna go with. I think it goes this way, or I don't think it really matters, but I'm gonna skip to when I got all these screwed in as far as they could go. All right, so I got all these bolts snugged-ish in here. So we'll just thread this thing on in and make sure we're centered a little bit. And we'll just turn it with a ratchet and see what happens. Out of their dirt. Alright, so we got this thing kind of hand tight in here. I mean, just see what happens, I guess. Well, that is not really what you want to happen. I'm gonna jam the cylinder with like a piece of rope so it stops it from spinning. Be right back. Alright, see if we can't break something here. See if it pops right off. Let's see, we'll just pull it a little bit more and make sure we're off here. I think we're off pretty much. Probably yelling at me saying what I forgot right now. If there was anything I forgot. I think the magnets are pretty stuck. There we go. Okay. There's the inside. I don't know. The flywheel. So, I mean, nothing looks. I mean, the stator doesn't look great. Looks like it's been chewed up by a mouse. But we'll see what happens with it. I'll have to take the engine back out and replace the stator. It's not a big deal, because this really wasn't too difficult. But our starter is locked up. I don't know if you can tell. So we're going to see if we can try to revive that. I think that's going to be the project today's video. And maybe trying to clean this and get the timing belt on, just to make sure we got compression and everything, and make sure nothing's too wrong with this before we keep pushing ahead and getting this thing in the tractor, because this machine needs a lot of work. All 3 spindles are locked up. Something's stuck in the transmission causing it to not move. Tire somehow is now holding air. The back, that guy wasn't holding air before. And it looks like garbage. So I'm thinking maybe a restoration on it. I don't really know yet. My main focus is to try to get this running and it moving and it cutting before I do any paint work or stickers or anything with it. So pop the starter out of here and see what we can't find. Alright, so I'm just going to use the impact here to take these 2 bolts out. Hopefully the starter falls on the floor and destroys itself. Looks like it's just two 12mm head bolts. Kind of stinks that you had to take the whole flywheel off to get to the starter, but whatever. Walk around here. See if I can pop it off. Seems pretty loose. Don't know what's holding it, if anything. I think it just slides out. Grab a little screwdriver, something to pry that out with a pry bar. So, I'm gonna put a little pressure on it, see if we can pry it out here. I'm not really sure what's holding it on here. Looks like maybe something on the bottom here. Might just be jammed up. Just looks like it's moving. Oh, there's dowel pins. Okay, so this whole cover have to come off. Looks like it might be a little bit farther of a pain than I thought it would be. Let's just see if we can pop this plate out of the way just a little bit to try to pry the starter out of here. Got like an 8mm bolt over here. Cut it. Action. Okay. This looks like it goes behind this cam pulley, and I am not about to take that off. So, is there a dowel on the bottom? I don't think so. The only dowel is up here on the top, which is almost out. Oh, there it is. Oh, no, there's a dowel down here. But that slid out. So let's see if we can make enough room. Yep. There's the locked up starter. Let's tilt this back this way. It's a little sketchy, but there it is. I just sent a dowel pin flying across the room, but yeah. We'll see if we can get set up on the table and see if we can unlock this starter here. Alright, so we're going to see if we can pop this starter apart here. It's a 2 Phillips heads on the back here. Alright, so we're going to see if we can pop this starter apart here. It's 2 Phillips heads on the back here, so I'm sure these are clearly locked up and are not going to come out. But, need one of the impact screwdrivers. Ones you hit with a hammer and they pop out, because this never works. Let's see. Not sure where my impact driver is, so we'll find that really quick and then. Alright, I found the screwdriver for the impact. So I'm not gonna get serious, but I'm just gonna go off to the side here. Yep, crack that one loose. And got that one loose. Just pushed really hard with the impact and hoped and prayed, but it broke them loose. So worst comes to worst, these stick out, so I probably could have got away using vice grips to get these out, but we got them out, so we're good. I have a good feeling it's this top bearing right here that's locked up, because it's all rusty, and the gear's locked on this shaft, so we'll have to see if we can make that work again. I don't know, I have my doubts. Here comes the end with the brushes, which had a washer. Brushes look, I mean, I don't really know what I'm looking for, but they look alright. See if we can put some vice grips or channel locks in here and just try to break it free. Get some of the penetrating oil too. Try to break it free. Because otherwise I'll be buying a new starter and I don't really feel like doing that. I think we're all out of this stuff. I have to go to the vise over here. Adjust these a little bit. One more. Not coming loose. Nope. So we're going to continue with our taking this apart here. Alright, so I took the brushes off here and the body of the starter off. I mean, I don't really know. Everything looks alright in here. It doesn't look amazing, but it looks alright. So, not sure how this comes apart, so I might have to find a diagram. But I think I'm going to go throw this in the vise and see if I can unlock it. Alright, so we clamped this in the vise here. And all I did was take channel locks for like half a turn. And it's spinning. It's honestly smoothish, but it's definitely tight. And I mean, you can see all the garbage just falling out of there. It's getting smoother and smoother as I go, but I think I'm gonna hit it with some carb cleaner and try and see if I can get this apart and, you know, re-grease up top here, and then we'll reassemble, bench test it, see what it does. And if it works, we'll move on to throwing the timing belt on and see what happens, I guess. Alright, so I got some carb cleaner here. Blow out everything here. Sorry, you couldn't see anything. See what that does. This stuff's definitely still coming in. It's definitely loosened up a little bit crunchy here, but it's definitely moving free now. So I'm gonna see the parts diagram here and see how that pops out of there, because it's starting to go. So we'll see if I can find a way to get this out of here. It's spinning really smooth now, actually. So, yeah. We'll see if we can find a way to get this off. Alright, so I figured out that this is called a stop collar. And right in there, it's rusty, but there's a snap ring. So what you're supposed to do is drive this down, or push it down when it's not rusted solid, with a wrench, and then you pull the snap ring out. So I'm going to try to just drive it down with either a socket or even just a screwdriver or something to just push that back and try to remove that snap ring, because I think as soon as I push that back, it's going to stay back. So then we'll have to pull it and clean the shaft with some Scotch-Brite, maybe the inside of this, and so it slides in and out easy. So, and the gear, of course. Oh, well, that is free now somehow, and that wasn't before. So, I mean, still crunchy, so we'll just remove it, make sure everything's good in here before we throw it all back together and bench test it. So, yeah, I'm going to come back to see if I can't get this out, because I have a feeling this is going to be a long process to try to do that. And I can't sit you up anywhere because I'll need two hands, so be right back. Okay, so it's like an hour and a half later. This collar didn't really pose a pain to get down. Now this snap ring, on the other hand, oh, took me probably an hour to get that out. That sits right in that groove, and holy crap, was it a pain in the butt. I think I bent it too, so we're gonna have to try to put it back on and bend it tight again. And I think next time if this happens, I'm just gonna buy a new starter, because I think that would have saved a lot of pain and hassle. But we're gonna see if we can get this to pop apart now. And it went flying across the room, of course, so that was fun chasing that down when I finally got it off. It's hard to do with one hand. When I get this collar off, I'll get you back. Alright, it's all apart. Here's the, main shaft here. And it's, worn, not worn, but like rusty. So we're going to take some Scotch-Brite and some brake cleaner. Clean that all up. We'll stick a wire brush down the center of that. Brush it out a little bit. Clean it up. Clean up this collar too. And put that back on. And then there's the spring, which is still springy and everything. So I think we're good on that part. And this annoying piece of junk, which is probably bent and probably be a new one, but I'm not even worried about this because I don't even know if this starter is going to work at all. So I'm going to do the tedious work of Scotch-Briting that, and I'll get you back here. Alright, so this is the setup we had here. I just put the drill in the vise and then put the end of this whole starter mechanism in there. And it looks... Come on, focus. Doesn't look great, but that's the bearing surface. And that's just dirty. But that looks pretty dang good from what it was. It was all full of rust. But this is all pitted. So that's not going to get any better than what it is. But it seemed to clean up pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and I cleaned up all the brushes on here too. So hopefully it'll make better contact. Kind of like refurbishing a starter with no new parts. So I'm going to try to just clean this gear up a little bit here, remove some of this rust, and just, clean out the inside here and make sure we're all good. And then this collar too, and we'll throw her back together and see if we can get it to spin. We'll catch you when this is all cleaned up. Alright, so I got everything here that I wanted to cleaned up. Clean off my hands real quick and then do a once over. Like, clean all the grime that I got on this off. And we'll throw her back together with a little bit of molly grease and see what happens. See if it'll spin. Maybe it won't, maybe it will. At least we tried before I spent $200 or whatever on a starter. So I'm gonna go find the grease and I'll be right back. Alright, so I just grabbed, whatever synthetic, it's just molly grease. It's like half oil, grease, whatever. Just gonna take a little dab of it and throw it on the shaft here, just where the bearing surface is. Yeah, I'm sure there's some specific grease that you're supposed to use on this. I'm not worried about it, so Worst comes to worst, it ruins the starter, but I doubt that's not gonna happen. Oh, look at that. Mint. That's how it should be. No bumps, all smooth. Feels great, actually. So I guess that's a good thing. Spin this down and on here. Spring. Collar, which goes a certain way. There's a divot in this side, and it's farther on this side, so you want it on this side. And then the C-clip, or this little clip, which I'm going to go put on off camera because that'll be a huge pain. So I'll be right back. All right, so got this piece of junk back together. I think this was a slide down further, but I'm not going to worry about it. Whatever. That was a huge pain. I ended up bending the ring like far enough to fit around and then squeezing it back down with some channel locks. But honestly, buy a new starter. That's a pain. I mean, it's more interesting for me to just see if I can make this work again, even if it only works for a little while, because this thing was completely locked up and rusted solid when I got it. So that's kind of the whole point about this project, is to see how much I can revive with little money and little parts. And then, you know, if I can't revive it, put money into it. It's kind of what you guys want me to do. If you want a restoration, we'll restore it. If you think I should just use it as is, just use it as is. Doesn't matter to me. But I would like to see it restored, but that's quite a bit of money and time and painting, and I have to set up a paint booth and whatever. So we'll see what happens. You know, I may end up just getting it running and using it to cut my yard. Whatever. I don't know. I'm going to throw this starter back together, I think, and then call it a night for tonight. I'm tired. So I'm going to set you back up. All right. So, we're just gonna put this back together. Doesn't look like this has any particular direction it wants to go. Which side goes where? Definitely this side goes forward. Alright. That is on. It is spinning in there. Easy enough. I think once this slides on, that'll center it quite a bit too. I'm not really sure which way this label goes. I think it was towards the outside. So, like that. So, pretty sure. I know this washer goes right here. And then these brushes, these probably orient in here. Yeah. That's what it looks like. Sorry if my head's directly in the way. Come on, brushes. There we go. Now we just have to spin this in the correct position, which I'm not really sure what that position is quite yet. I think it's somewhere down in here, if I had to guess. I think that this will depict. Oh, that's the bolt holes. All right, which are somewhere. I think for one, that caps off there, obviously. I think this should probably spin this way. So I think it goes something like there. Just make sure bolt holes line up and stuff's lined up here. Not so confident it is. I'll have to check the manual in a second. I think a little off here, but I think that goes like that. So I'm gonna check the manual real quick. Yep, I forgot to press record. But basically what you do is there's a slot in the brush holder and you line it up with the, well, focus, this line right here, which lines up with this end cap. So now we're gonna screw it back together. I have no idea where the screw holes are, so I think we're just gonna have to slide these in and twirl around until we find them. There it is, I think. Maybe. Be close. Probably should have looked. Is it maybe these marks? Right there. I think I could see them. Right. Oh wait, hold on. I think we got things that line up here. Yep. Alright. That makes sense. I'm kind of just winging it here if you can't tell. And then this, yeah. Makes sense that it... Okay, that can still rotate a little bit. So. Let's see. As long as this one fits in here, which seems like it is, I honestly don't really know. Really have no idea how this is supposed to work, how this will work, so kind of winging it, but it's together. I don't really know. I'm gonna go get a battery charger plugged in, and I guess see if it'll go boom and see what happens. Right, here goes nothing. I got it on the 2 amp here. We're gonna see if it won't. Seems like it. Looks like it's working good. Bendix is coming out and everything, so success. That's a successful starter from bad to good. So I think I'm gonna end it here for the night. I'm gonna clean up, but everything's pretty much just gonna stay here. We'll throw the starter and timing belt on tomorrow morning or tomorrow and see where it goes.